and should be a fun one. So let's get started tonight with some good 5x5s. Please tell me you guys can see me clearly, you can hear me clearly. We don't want a repeat of Tuesday here. So let's make sure what we got. I got to look over the top here because obviously I'm set up for Robert says 5x5, Charlie Tunis is 5x5, Texas Sass, Harbor Prepper, Jacob, Nest Prepper. Okay, there's a bunch of you guys saying 5x5. All right. So, Mrs. P, can you see me and hear me?
Not yet, but it is my phone.
Oh, okay. We have the technical coordinator sitting on the couch. So that's where we're going there. All right. So we will have our enjoyable Saturday night here. I'll give everybody a few minutes to show up here because don't want to jump in too early here. But yes, finally, guys, on my garage at least, I finally have walls and a roof. It took 3 days, not without a bunch of hiccups in there. But all I got to say is thank God there is one person that's helping keep me sane with all of this. And I really do appreciate all the talking me off the edge of the cliff he does, because I get stressed out over stuff like this. When things don't go right, it drives me nuts. And there's nothing that, you know, when you get, you guys know how this one goes. When you have projects that aren't complete, it drives you crazy. And I got 2 of them between the pond and the garage that have been going on since late March. And, here it is mid-August and neither of them are done, so you can imagine I'm claws out here at this point. But yeah, so that's it. Hope you guys saw the afternoon video today talking about what Florida is saying about transformers, which we've talked about before. So a big thing to make sure you have your power needs somehow taken care of. I mean, if you're okay with oil lamps and candles for light and everything, hey, make sure you got enough of those, no problem. If you need something to run a CPAP machine or whatever, make sure you got those things taken care of. But when emergency management says 2 to 6 years to get replacement transformers, that even if you go on the short side, guys, imagine being 2 years without power. You remember the hurricane that hit Puerto Rico a few years ago and how everybody was without power and what happened there. And it was just a complete and utter chaos and collapse of the economy and starvation and everything like that. So, this is why, Northern Ozark, I'm going to get you for that. This is why we need to be prepping and doing this self-sufficiency. It's going to be more important every freaking day that we are self-sufficient, because we can already see what's going on with food and food prices and the economy. And now you start throwing in power and what's next. We're how many places in a drought, no water. You start adding this together, the economy's in the toilet, food's got problems, water's got problems. It's like, what do you think is going to happen when this all finally comes to a head? There's your SHTF, guys. Fortunately, we are the ones with eyes open and not looking through rose-colored glasses thinking Joe's going to solve everything. Joe's doing a good job at creating problems, but, solving any of them, no. I don't care what he says. Look at the gas, 50 cents I saved you. Yeah, what about the 2 1/4 that's gone up other than that since you've taken office? But sad point, not going to get into politics. All right. Figure it's now 5 after 9. 1,500 people in here. Better chance of winning, guys. Not a big crowd for this one. So, last couple of times we've done this, we've had well over 2,000. So we'll see what happens. All right. So let me flip the camera over. Well, let me tell you first off, remind everybody of what's going on here. Okay. We are giving away from Elliott and Wellbots an EcoFlow Wave. It is a 4,000 BTU portable air conditioner. All right. Retail value on this thing's about $1,500. So, fortunately, if anybody wants to buy one, Elliott gave us a coupon code to get it down to $1,200. So, better. Okay. But, again, this is not a high priority prep. But if you live in Arizona, Texas, Louisiana, New Mexico, something like that, it might be an important one. Okay. So something to look at, especially if you have issues with heat. So for the contest, we did the video the other day. I think it was Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, one of the two. In order to have an entry, you had to have commented on that video and that video only. And your comment must include the state in which you live in. If you did not include the state and your name is picked, you don't win. Okay, it's not a valid entry. In order to win, you also must live in the lower 48. And again, I will say this, guys, these aren't my rules. This is where they can ship to. These things are heavy. Shipping gets expensive when you start trying to go to Florida, to Alaska, to Europe. And as is, they're giving this away, $1,500 worth. Okay. I'll let them make the rules on that. So, all right. The other thing is you must be a subscriber to win. And if you guys noticed, when I turned on the slow mode tonight, I also turned on subscriber only mode and subscribers for an hour only. You must have been a subscriber for at least an hour. The reason I do this, and I'm going to be doing this on every future giveaway we ever do, is I've noticed too many times that we have people that come in 5 minutes beforehand, stay for the, enter the drawing, come in 5 minutes beforehand, leave as soon as the drawing is over, and they're never heard from again. Okay. Elliott's doing this for our community, not just for any Tom, Dick, or Harry to come in and, run off and win something and take it to the pawn shop the next day. All right. That's not what this is all about. He's doing this to help all of us, and we appreciate that. And, in return, we try to help them as best we can too. So that is why comments are only allowed to be from people who have been subscribers for at least an hour. It keeps the people who are just, contest ninjas out of here. So if you're interested in participating in contests in the future, why not participate in the family and the camaraderie and the fellowship that we have on the channel as well? Okay. So that's how that one goes. So, all right, I'm going to flip this over. Let's change I want to show you guys something first. Okay. So we're going to flip this over. There we go. And now I got to zoom a little bit so you can see what we're doing here. And come on. Yeah, I can't. This is always fun trying to do this. Not trying to drive you guys nuts here. All right, that's a little closer. Let's see if we can get that up right. All right. So I want to show you this first. And as per normal, we've got to have technical issues, and I'm going to show you what they are. Up here, this YouTube random comment picker, commentpicker.com, that is the website I always use for our giveaways. Watch what happens. This site can't be reached. I don't know if they're having a problem or if they shut it down or whatever. So I can't use the normal one. Fortunately, I found this out about 8:30. So we are going to scroll down, and we are going to use the very next one here, YouTube random comment picker, right? This one works. So here's what it is. So if it looks different than before, guys, this is why. I would have used the normal one, but if it ain't working, we have two choices. We either use a different one or we don't do the drawing. I figured you guys would probably say use a different one. So I am going to paste the link from the entry video here. and we will hit fetch. We are not allowing replies. We never do. Other than that, make sure nothing else. So it's just anything goes according to these guys, and continue. So let's see how many comments we have as we go screeching on through. 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 15, 17, 2,041 comments. All right. Here we go, guys. Let's see. Pick a winner. DJ, my mother could definitely use this in New York. I will give it a look. Okay. New York is there. Is DJ in the house? DJ, you have till 9:13 to say you are here. Otherwise, we pick another winner. Because the one thing is, and I said it, must be present to win. So, DJ, I am here. There we go. Woohoo. All right, quick. I like that. Congratulations. Let's flip this over again here. There we go. And I'm going to bear with me a second while I move all this stuff around so I can see what's going on. Get me back looking at my computer. All right, there we go. All right, so DJ, what I need you to do is send me an email with your name, your physical mailing address, not a post office box, has to be a physical mailing address. Elliot uses FedEx, and your phone number. I will send that to him Monday morning. They usually ship stuff out midweek, so probably by the end of the week, you will have your new EcoFlow Wave. Congratulations. Anybody that didn't win is still interested, go back to Tuesday's video. I gave you the links for not only this, but the packages that he had for the Wave and a couple of the different generators. Where, I mean, if you get this, guys, $900, the packages, if you wanted those, $900 off, plus a $300 coupon code. Literally, it's if you buy a generator, you get the Wave for free. So pretty damn close, at least. So just saying. But if you want those, go check out Tuesday's or Wednesday's video, whatever it was. I think I called it Ride the Wave. So, but DJ, congratulations. Now we'll move on to your regularly scheduled programming. So, all right, we will get into Q&A here. And I just kind of want to go over what the typical rules are, everything. Please, like every other YouTube channel, if you have a question for me, put it in all caps. That's what these are all about. This is a chance for you guys to ask me questions and get some answers to things that you want to know. Not that I have them all, okay? But I pretty much bet somebody in the chat room has the answer to the question you're looking at. You know, you ask me how to brood chickens, I'm not going to be able to tell you. I guarantee there's a bunch of people in here who can tell you everything you need to know about chickens. So if I know it, I tell you. If I don't, I won't. I will tell you I don't know, because I'm not about to bullshit you. That being said, okay, please keep it polite, keep it family friendly, keep it PG-13 family friendly. And please be respectful to everybody in the chat, everything. We don't need any of these nasty comments or anything like that. Hopefully, with a little luck, we kick out most of the riffraff. The moderators between Robert, Jacob, North Shore, Lucky Dame, and Lorna do a great job of keeping the chat clean. But, you know, let's just treat each other with some respect there. Okay. All right. So I will say this. If you've got a question for me, please try to get it posted by about 8:30, 8:35 or so, maybe 8:40 at the latest. I'm typically running behind. If you haven't heard your answer in a question you asked 10 minutes ago, might be because I haven't got that far down the list yet. Okay, so, but if you're posting something at 10 minutes to 10, I'm not going to, I almost guarantee I'm not going to see that one. So, all right. And as we watch the people all leave who didn't win, typical, we'll go on along. All right. So let's see. I see all the congratulations. Custom carry. Is it Carrie or Carl? Man, my eyes are getting bad at my age. How friendly do your mag members stay amongst each other? Well, okay, not X-rated friendly, let's say that. But no, I mean, at least mine are, we're all good friends. So, we all live here and everything like that. And we'll get together for barbecues or dinner or whatever would be, very helpful to each other. I mean, we operate this way in a non-SHTF situation, helping each other out on everything. It's not like it's not like it's gonna change when the world goes to hell. You should be friendly with them for the simple reason is the biggest thing, like I talked about the other day, that you're going to need in your mag is trust, and it's very hard to trust somebody that you don't know. Oh, still congratulations here. So, wow, lots of congratulations. Scrolling. At least it's not everybody telling me they can't hear me this time. Okay. All right. We'll get there. All right. DJ says she will be excited. Okay, good. And of course, that's right when we shoot to the bottom. Wouldn't you know it? Okay. Frank Drebin, Pinball, where is the road tire soundtrack? Wimpies are mad. There you go. Yeah. Sorry. It is what it is. I mean, somebody had a great comment. I don't remember if it was in the comments or an email or whatever. Said I should do one sitting on the toilet. I just might. That should piss off a lot of people. I'm sorry, guys. If you come here for somebody to stroke your ego, you're in a wrong place. All right. If you come here to hear the cold, hard, honest truth and a little bit of tough love, you're going to be in the right place. Okay. Trust me, I get my fair share of tough love too. Okay. And you'll learn from it. It's good. Okay. Sweetie Petite, I live in a town that has its own power grid and company. If shit hits the fan, what do you think are my odds of keeping power? I've never lost power more than an hour during major storms for 10 years. Never, ever heard of that. Okay. That a town has its own grid. I mean, I guess my question would be, what country do you live in? Because it ain't the States. I've never heard of that, so I can't even begin to give you a guesstimate on what your odds are. Teresa D, next time make subscribers be a week or a month. Trust me, I think about that too. But I don't want to eliminate somebody that found the channel from, in this case, Tuesday or Wednesday on, said, hey, cool, and then stuck around too. So that's the thing. Marcus Aurelius, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for making this journey into the future palatable and predictable. Well, I don't know if it's either of those things, but at least it's not completely, you're not blindsided by everything. Let's put it that way. Weird Jasper, no question, just love for all from Indiana. Thank you all. Good. Okay. That's the kind of attitude I like to see around here. Okay. Trudy Sora, I bought the Idaho 500 and it came with a 100-watt solar panel. I love it, but is the one panel enough or should I get another? I don't remember what the maximum input on that one was. You'd have to look in your instructions and see what your maximum input is. I've got to think it's more than 100 watts. But if it's 200 watts, you can get another panel. If it's 120 watts, you're done. So check your instructions on there, because even if you had 1,000 watts of input, it won't take it. It'll only take up to what it's rated to do. I see the Mods are already at it, getting people having comments deleted. Okay, so okay, yeah, guys. I mean, this is it. It's play nice or go home. That's it. Paula Davis, when are my sweet potatoes ready to harvest? First planting will be September 15th. Second planting will be right around Thanksgiving. So, but I've got about 2/3 of it is in my first planting. I mean, the vines are a dark, dark green and getting enormous. So that's a good thing. The second one, those just went in about a month ago. I think it was, yeah, it was July, around July 15th, because my little sweet potato had a few more sprouts on it, and I had one more hay bale or straw bale that I could put them in. So I got those in there. So those will be ready then. But yeah, we got another 5 weeks, or but no, yeah, 5 weeks until I got to pick. So bitter critter, tomato worms, help. Get yourself some BT. Look it up on Amazon. I've showed the stuff I used before. It's literally, if you do a search on Amazon for caterpillar killer, it's a little bottle, light green like this. It's a concentrate. Just mix it in a sprinkling can or a hose end sprayer or something like that. You're golden. North Shore. We are a family here. Please act like it. There you go. Yes. Very true. Nothing to no one in particular. Do I know the best book for high altitude mountain gardening, please? No, I do not, because I don't do anything by the book. Okay. I've said many times, I don't believe in wasting money on these books, because then I'll give you my reasoning again, too. You live in high altitude. I'm assuming you live probably in the Rockies or something like this. There's going to be a chapter in there on how to grow oranges. There's going to be a chapter in there on how to grow cucumbers in the desert. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff, how to grow plants in fertile soil and everything, none of which you have. So all that is wasted space and wasted money. The best thing you can do is go look online and put in specific search terms. Growing watermelons in Denver or whatever would be, and look for the specifics on somebody who's there doing it in your soil, in your climate, whatever. If you can find it online, great. If you can't, go talk to a farmer. Hey, I'm trying to grow my own little garden. Can you tell me what I need to do to grow corn around here? I'm not saying I'm against books. What I'm saying is you're going to go buy a book that's this thick for this much information. How much money are you pissing away? Half bubble off plum. Why does my compost keep getting clumps of roots in it? I'm in Northeast Florida, Zone 9A. Okay, getting clumps of roots. I mean, are you throwing in? I'm guessing you're not throwing in plants with a clump of root in it, because then you'd know why the clumps of roots are there. You throw them in there. Okay. So I'm guessing what you're having is something that is growing in your compost pile. Trust me, throw some pumpkin seeds in your compost pile sometime, guys. You will have pumpkins or zucchini or anything all over the place. They love growing in a composting compost pile. That would be my guess. You probably have seeds in there that are trying to germinate. So, you should be very careful when you're putting your material into your compost pile that nothing has seeds in it, because unless you get your compost pile very hot, you're not going to kill those seeds. And then, especially if you got weed seeds, okay, you're just adding weed seeds to your garden at that point. Makes no sense. One thing that's always hard to compost is tomato seeds. Tomato seeds are next to impossible to kill, okay? You throw them in a compost pile, unless your compost pile gets up to 160, 170 degrees, you're not going to kill that tomato seed. All you're doing is keeping it nice and warm over the winter. So guess what happens in the spring? Where you planted all your cabbage, all of a sudden you have tomatoes popping up. Yeah. Got to make sure you keep the seeds out of your compost pile. Penny Trent, how do I get rid of ants in my garden? Cinnamon works very well. Put that around there. I mean, I know people say burn them out, pour gasoline. I'm not pouring gasoline in my garden. I'm sorry, it's not where, people talk about vinegar. Vinegar is also a great weed killer. Okay, guess what that means? It's also going to kill your plants. Uh, you know, don't use salt. You don't want to get all that salt in your soil. Cinnamon is probably the best thing, or putting ant traps out there. The little discs, put those out there. That would probably be the best solutions. Cinnamon will keep them away and chase them away. The traps will catch them and kill them. Jurassic Pork Chop, will there ever be a drawing for my hat? No. There's an easy answer to that one. No. Mrs. B's like, you need a new hat. I'm like, no, I've had this hat for 20, 30 some odd years. This hat ain't going anywhere. Drago Kostyuk, best breed of meat rabbit. Couldn't tell you. That's going to be somebody else's question. So I don't raise rabbits. PK, what's my favorite beet variety and how do I preserve them? It's got to be the Detroit Dark Reds, just because they are so prolific. They are pretty disease and pest resistant. Grow good sized, good tasting beets, and I've had luck with them. Let's put it this way: I've had luck with them growing them in New England soil. I've had luck growing them in Tennessee soil. So if I can get through those, I think I'm okay. How do we preserve them for our beets that we harvest? Basically, they all go into borscht, and we can up quarts and quarts and quarts and quarts of borscht. Okay, so we've probably got 40 quarts of it in the pantry. Mongoose 1776. How do I get rid of stink bugs in my garden? If you have the answer, please let me know. Okay. Come October, we will have the stink bug infestation around here where it looks like the birds. We get a few days where all the stink bugs come out, then we get a few days where all the Japanese beetles come out. And I mean, you can't even go outside without just getting beat in the face with bugs. Yeah, if you've got an answer for getting rid of stink bugs, let me know. Just in case you wanted to know, next time you see a stink bug, thank China, because guess where they came from? China, another great import we get. Weren't here 10 years ago. Got them now. Rebecca Garrett, how do I deal with family who doesn't understand? Makes comments that make you feel crazy. Either ignore them, disassociate yourself with them, or tell them that the conversation is out of bounds, off the table. They are not going to do it. If they want to have a conversation like that, feel free to do it at their house. Get out of yours. Okay. I guarantee you can go nitpick about the fact that your brother has 3 kids with 3 different women, or your sister has more credit card debt than money in the bank, or anything like that. Yeah, if they want to get nitpicky, I'm betting you could probably stick a knife between their shoulder blades too. Tell them, if you don't want to listen, ain't my problem. Real simple. Do not come here and ask for my help when you need it, if this is the way you're going to treat me. I mean, you just cold. That's the only way you do it. Diane S., when and if do I think China is going to invade Taiwan? I mean, depending on who you listen to, I mean, nobody knows. I mean, the only one that knows is Xi Jinping, okay? Depending on who you listen to, it's as early as next week and as late as 2030. So, sometime this decade, no idea. It could be tomorrow morning. I mean, all these drills they're running after Pelosi's visit, looks like they're preparing for an invasion. It's probably just intimidation, but probably, not certainly. Who knows? If I had the answer, I'd be sitting in the White House, not the potato. Jennifer Suter, have I ever used peanut butter flavor in your beer you make. Never even considered that. Never even heard of that. Okay. Wouldn't surprise me if somebody makes a peanut butter beer. I've never seen one. Might be interesting to try. The two I have brewing right now are a Czech Pilsner and a Bavarian Weissbier. Weissbier, however you want to pronounce it. There. That's John. They didn't get all the riffraff. I'm still here. There you go. Be careful. Lornet's got a vengeance out for people. T. Swart 69. With the passing of the new spending bill, how long before inflation causes economic collapse? Well, the Senate parliamentarian today allowed the bill to go through, so it's going to pass. Okay, no problem. So this is the deficit, or was it the Inflation Reduction Act, which is the biggest freaking lie ever. This has got to be one of the dumbest things. I mean, not that there, I mean, I could give you a laundry list of dumb things that Democrats do weekly. Okay. But when you're looking at what, 3 months before an election, hey, let's call something the deficit or the Inflation Reduction Act when we know it's going to increase inflation right before we go into an election where it's going to be blatantly obvious who the blame is going to be able to be put on. Okay, when we see inflation start hitting in September, October, right before election time. Way to go, Chuck. Way to go, Nancy. That's using your brain. Nobody's ever accused you of being smart. It's Christmas is going to be ugly this year, guys. Let's put it this way. All right, you know, back in the days when you got an orange, you know, that might be a good Christmas present this year. You can pretty much bet, though, that come January, when new Congress is seated and both houses flip, one of the very first things, hopefully, they do is start undoing the last 2 years. Now, whether the senile old man signs off on them, realizing he's completely screwed the country, or whether he tries to go fight with whoever our new Speaker of the House and Senate Majority Leader are, we'll see. But, you know, that's just going to make the chances of him having any 2024 future go down further, too. You know, the best thing Joe's got to happen going for him right now is the Democrats losing Congress, because things might actually start turning around and looking better, and Joe might actually say, look, I can take credit for this. And there'll be enough morons that believe him. Major Monkey Toes, can you start peas in 90 degrees for fall harvest? You can start them, yes. Okay. You need it to cool down. Peas are a cold weather crop. They really don't like being above about 70. So, you know, if you're going to, yeah, I know what everybody's thinking. We got this problem. We have 2 seasons anymore. We have summer and winter. I mean, spring is gone in a blink of an eye, and fall is gone with one breeze. You know, it's like, oh, the leaves are turning, then there's snow on the ground. Yes, you can start them. You are going to need to keep them cool at all possible. So it probably means putting shade cloth over them. And you are going to need to be watering, keeping cool or cold water on those peas to keep them alive, because they'll fry in the heat that some of us have right now. Let's see. 5-acre gardener. My potatoes are still green, but have begun to fall over. Does that mean they're ready for harvest? Okay, it depends on the type of potato that you have. Okay, I grow 2. I grow Kennebec Whites and Pontiac Reds. And the Kennebecks they're an earlier potato, and they'll die. Okay, I mean, you'll see, I mean, they'll start withered and black and everything like that. That's when I know they're done. The Pontiac Reds, when they're done, they're a little slower. They're about 3 weeks after the Kennebecks to harvest. They'll still be green. The plant will still be green, but you'll start to see, like you're saying, they fall over. You'll start to see some drooping in the leaves and stuff, yeah, you should be. Your potatoes are probably ready, depending on the kind of potatoes you have, but I bet they're ready to be picked. Terry Ward, off-grid inverter, any suggestion? I am not the solar genius. I do not have a homemade solar system or whatever. Everything I have is in regards to off-the-shelf generators and everything. So if you're putting together a package with batteries and your own inverter and stuff like that, I'm not the guy to ask. Iron Bar 1776 Panzerfaust. Can't get eggplant to grow in Georgia. Okay. Your climate's going to be a little different than ours. We got eggplant to grow last year. I don't particularly care for eggplant, so I don't grow it anymore. But Mrs. P wanted to grow some last year. We did, and we got some. But I'm not going to be that big a help on how to grow eggplant. Deb78, I had a horrible thought. Are all these extra deaths related to worker shortages? What extra deaths are we talking about? KREC, dumb question. What does MAG stand for? Mutual Assistance Group. It's your tribe, your little community. It's the people that are all going to get together and they're going to count on each other for everything, for security, for food, for your own little community. Okay. Rooster, Pinball, I know you're a crack shot between both of us. Let's get these damn raccoons, beer and steaks on me. There you go. Yeah, did you guys see the number one hunting rifle used in the United States is an AR-15. Don't know why. It's not exactly what I'd choose to go hunting with, but I can see how it's, depending on what you're hunting, effective. You're hunting raccoons, yeah, an AR-15, no problem. They'll take care of a raccoon. Let's see. Healthy disrespect for authority. Are you still doing email address swapping through your email? Yes. If two of you guys want to get together, each of you can, because I certainly don't want anybody posting their email here. Okay. Because again, this is the internet, guys. If both of you send me an email saying, Joe says, please share my email with Mary, and Mary says, please share my email with Joe, I'm more than happy to send each other, both of you guys, each other's emails. Seamus A, do you load 556 55 over 62 or greater? I've got both 55 grain and 62. I'm not worried about, trust me, any of them are going to certainly get the job done. Okay. I know there's all the, oh, gee, get the red tips, get the green tips, do the, and you just watch the price go like this. I don't care, get hit with a 55 mag full metal or 55 grain full metal jacket round. You're going down. Okay. It's done. Cheapest round you get. It's going to work. And I know what people say, well, the penetration that you're going to get through the wall. And trust me, some guy breaks into my house. The last thing I'm concerned about is the wall penetration I have at the moment. Ray Scooter, best use for butternut squash. Well, cut it open, bake it up, throw some brown sugar in it, serve it that way. Or you can certainly skin it, can it, cube it up in about 1-inch cubes, can it, and then mash it up with a potato masher, put some butter and brown sugar over it, serve it that way. Beautiful. Okay, great side dish. Goes great with ham. I gotta figure out where we were again. Hang on. Okay, that was first top I can get. South Colorado Stedterer. Will an electric fence work on keeping bears from my fruit? I'm guessing probably. Depends. I mean, you put the voltage through it. I'm guessing it probably would. But Cynthia Henley, what do you think winter will be like? Patera thinks it's going to be a hard winter. Well, according to Farmer's Almanac, it is supposed to be. It's supposed to be November, December, January is supposed to be a few degrees colder than normal. I think when I looked last, it was either December or January. It's supposed to be like 8 degrees below normal for here, okay, for Tennessee. But again, you can't take a generic and say the winter across the United States is going to be worse than normal. Okay. That's like saying the entire United States is going to be in a drought. No. Okay. A lot of it is, not all of it. Okay. So, got to look for yourself. Around here, it'll be colder. Okay. I mean, average a year in this area, we get 4 inches of snow. I mean, what are we going to say? Oh my God, it's going to be a terrible year. We're going to get 50% more snow than is normal. Okay, so we get 6 inches instead of 4 over the winter. I don't disagree with Patera at all, but again, she's relatively in the same area as I am. So, and we're supposed to have a colder winter. So yeah, I'll agree with her, but I can't give you an answer from, what's winter going to be like in Montana. Totally different weather. Daniel Pounders, what is my favorite fruit? Hands down, cherries. No question. Don't even have to think about that one. Drago Kostyuk, this is a great question. How do you deal with too many chiefs and not enough Indians in your mag? And I guarantee you that is a problem. I talked about this once, maybe about a year ago in a video. This is a problem that every group is going to have. Okay. Now, what you have to do, the only solution I can think of, okay, and I'm not saying there's probably other ones, okay, but this is my solution. The only solution I can think of is this. Everybody is going to be doing multiple things around the mag, okay? Everybody's going to help in planting food. Everybody's going to help in guard duty. Everybody's going to help in collecting water. Everybody's going to help in cooking, whatever it would be. Too many chiefs. Each chief should have a responsibility. Joe, you're the chief of water. You're a worker when it comes to planting. You're a worker when it comes to guard duty. But when it comes to water, that's your responsibility. You are the ultimate one that is in charge of making sure we all have water. Bob, you are the one who is ultimately responsible for security around here. It's your job to make sure your guards are pulling guard duty, nobody's sleeping, whatever, that sort of stuff. When it comes to planting and picking vegetables, you're a worker bee. That way everybody has this, I'm in charge of something, and you shouldn't have as much animosity. Now, you're still going to have bitching and pissing and moaning and everything like that. That's just normal. But that's the only solution I can come up with, because there is no penal system, if you will. Okay. There is no, you're fired. You're taking a pay cut. Okay. Nobody's getting paid, and, getting fired from a mag is getting kicked out of the community. All right. So, there is no real penalty. Well, Joe, you didn't do this, so you're being docked 2 potatoes from dinner tonight. That's not going to fly. So, the only solution I can give is give everybody something that they are ultimately responsible for. They make the decisions on it, but they also understand that there's somebody who's responsible for the other things that they have to work on too. Crazy Rabbit Lady, can I pressure can potatoes using citric acid versus the absorbic acid? The manual says. Don't know. I pressure canned my potatoes in salt and water. That was it. Kentucky Believer, remember Billy Beer? Oh, yes. JD Paul, do I like pickled eggs? Yes, I do. I like pickled almost about the only thing I know that I don't like. I don't even say don't like. I don't prefer is pickled tomatoes. Okay. They're okay, but they're not I'm not a real fan. There you go. KDK, chocolate stout is my favorite. Add a peanut butter beer and I'm sold. There you go. I had it. to each his own. I had a chocolate stout. I'm not a big fan. Used to love IPAs, and then something in my taste buds changed. Now every time I drink an IPA, it tastes like grapefruit juice to me. So I don't drink IPAs anymore. Let's see. Penny Trent, do I think we will go into a Great Depression? Yeah, eventually, yes. I think we're getting very close to it now. The economy is just being artificially inflated so that nobody really sees it. Uh, as long as the banks are still lending money, and interest rates are going up, but you can still get a car loan, you can still get a home loan, you can still use your credit card. When the banks all of a sudden say we can't loan any more money for houses, we can't loan any more money for cars, we can't pay, they start cutting everybody's credit limits down to zero. That's when you'll see it, because we are in a debt-based economy, and when people can't borrow any more money, when interest rates are too ridiculous that nobody can afford to, that'll take us right into a depression. Daniel Pounders, what is Mrs. P's favorite American food and yours? Mrs. P's favorite American food by far is cheeseburgers, no doubt. And yes, she smiled. Mine, probably a good steak. Yeah, I'd say, something simple. Give me a good steak, an ear of corn, and a baked potato, and I'm there. Somebody said we have peanut butter bead trapper. We have peanut butter whiskey. It's called Sheepdog. That sounds good. Let's see. Llama Mama, Sweet Baby Jesus is a good chocolate peanut butter beer. That's an interesting name for a beer. But hey, okay. Definitely marketing. Ellen Davis, best place to buy hops and seeds to make my own beer. Find a local place. Don't try doing it online, stuff like that, okay? Because all you're getting is the leftovers from some local place. You can pretty much go to any decent sized town and find at least one place that sells beer, home DIY beer and DIY wine stuff. Okay, D Freak, just curious how much oil changes cost over yonder. Are you saying over here? It cost me about $50 to get the oil changed in my truck. And it's no cheaper if I do it myself. So I just go to Jiffy Lube or whatever and have them do it. I can do it myself, it's no big deal, but then I got to go get rid of the used oil and do all this and everything like that. And, pull in, pull out, never leave my truck. I'm there. Huts John, I hope Trump and DeSantis don't run for president at the same time. Both are good, but they could split the vote too much, and a Democrat could possibly win again. Well, okay. Chances are, not chances are, they wouldn't anyway. They'll run in the primaries against each other, but only one of them is going to get the nomination. There's no way Trump, no way DeSantis, either one of them is running as an independent. Okay. They both know that all that's going to do is take votes away from the other side, and both of them will lose. Look at how Bill Clinton won in '92. All right. He won because Ross Perot siphoned off enough votes from George Bush Sr., and we wound up with Slick Willie. Bob Ralph says, Christmas is only going to be ugly if you let it. Just say it. Okay, well, again, don't read into what I'm saying. I'm talking about buying presents for the kids and stuff like that. There ain't going to be as much under the tree this year. That's what I'm saying, all right? Don't try to put words in my mouth. I love how everybody's trying to do that lately, put words in my mouth. Please don't. Judy Thompson, save some cucumber seeds a few weeks back. Is it too late to plant them? Unless you're in southern Florida or you're in southern Texas or something like that, yeah, it's too late to plant cucumbers. Cucumbers take about, what, 85, 90 days from seed to fruit. And by now you're looking at what, 90 days here is mid-November. I mean, I'm 2+ weeks past my average frost date. Could you try it? Sure. Would you? I mean, maybe 10% chance you're going to get any fruit. Yeah, when I'm talking about peas, guys, I'm not talking about field peas or black-eyed peas. I'm talking about English peas, as everybody calls them, green peas. Okay. Carol says DeSantis and Abbott for vice president. I'm not sold on. I like what Abbott's doing down in Texas. I'm not sold on him though. I wouldn't mind DeSantis and Kristi Noem. I wouldn't mind DeSantis and Jim Jordan. JD Paul, my thoughts on weather manipulation. It's absolutely real, and anybody who's telling you that HARP was shut down as a government program in 2015 is lying through their teeth to you. Okay. I mean, the government has all but admitted that, at least in East Texas, they are manipulating the weather so they can create more wind, so they can spin these wind turbines to generate electricity, which of course is messing up everybody in Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, because all that heavy weather, it winds up coming through here because they're, again, the butterfly effect. Y'all know what that is, right? That's exactly what they're doing. How is this going to help me right here? Damn the torpedoes 100 miles away. We don't care what it does to them. How's it going to help me right here? That's the tunnel vision. Can't think past here. How many times have I said that? That's typical politician. Country Boy 1968. The deer ripped the tops off our large tomato plants and ate them. Never seen that before. I've never had deer eat my tomatoes. That's interesting. Anderson Pooper. What was my best experience in the military? Oh my God. There were tons of them. The most, God, I mean, you got to understand what I did. Okay. There were a lot of, you're 22, 23 years old, and you're just tearing somebody a new one with your tongue. You have a lot of fun with that. Okay. One of the highlights, I guess, if you will, that I remember is when I had it. You guys know I was down on the Texas border, the Arizona border, everything like that, dealing with all of that crap back in the late 80s. Okay. And so one time I was tasked to train the FBI agents and the DEA agents on how to handle captured narcotics traffickers. And so I had to play a part, and this is while going through my regular life. Okay. I had to play a part of a Army soldier who was dealing drugs on post. Okay. And we knew this was supposed to start, over the weekend or what. I don't remember exactly the days. I mean, it was like the go live was Friday night or something like that. And so Saturday, friends, other guys in the platoon, everything like that, we had gone to the post bowling alley and we were drinking beers and bowling and doing this sort of stuff. And all of a sudden, two guys walk into the bowling alley. I'm not paying any attention. And they ask who I was. Yeah, okay. And arrest me right there in the bowling alley. I mean, now mind you this, nobody else has any idea that I'm part of this, okay? it wasn't like, my whole platoon knew, hey, he was going to be training FBI and DEA agents or whatever it was. So here it is. All of a sudden, I get arrested in the bowling alley. And at first, I didn't understand what was going on. I figured, okay, everything's going to start on Monday. No big deal. And it took me about 5 minutes or whatever. And then I realized what was going on. Okay. So then I got into character. And so one thing led to another. And of course, I gave this guy every curveball. There's like, oh, we want to know who the kingpin is and everything. So, I got with another friend of mine who I said, okay, I want you to help me with this one. And so, I mean, I had planted weapons in places and, eventually, it got to the point where the FBI agents who had arrested me and my buddy had killed them and left them out in the desert. And of course, when we go to debrief and everything like that, they're like, I can't believe you left them out in the desert. I'm like, we only left them there for 20 minutes. We went back and got them. We just told them they were dead, So you had that one. Then I told you guys the story about the first sergeant who, when we were training his K troop, training these guys on POW handling, and, me and the rest of the platoon were, dressed up in tiger stripe and, red berets and pretending to be Russian infantry and, dumb. And we just kind of walk into a tanker's compound, right. Like anybody's ever going to do that, and get ourselves captured so the troops can practice, learn how to handle prisoners. And so they do all this sort of stuff. And I mean, mind you, we had, map sections in our hats and, obviously, a knife on you or whatever it would be. And so the guys are all done. The first sergeant comes out and he's like screaming at his troops. He's like, that's not how you do a search, blah, blah, blah. Let me show you how to do a search. This is what we did when we were in Vietnam, all this sort of crap. He picks me. Big mistake. So Top grabs me, throws me on the ground, starts, just manhandling me all over the place, right? Finally, it's, taking my boots off, doing all that, reaching all over me. Walks up, Top stands in front of the entire company and goes, that's how you do a search. And I looked at my LT, who was the observer on this, and LT just looked at me. He knew exactly what I was saying. He's like, just like that, just lightly shook his head, reached down to my pants. I pulled a 45 out. I said, Top. He turns around and go, bang, you're dead. Yeah, right. Okay. Don't get smug and say this is how you. I had a lot of fun doing what I did in the military because I got to be a smartass. But I guarantee you there's not a single tanker that ever forgot how to, to look at a guy's crotch when you were handling prisoners. I guarantee there wasn't a single FBI agent that questioned, that didn't learn something from the caginess I gave them. So, there you go. Long answers, but a couple of stories for you. Okay. Oh, shit. It's 9:58. I ran too long. All right. Real fast. Willow Hawk Lorenz, do I think term limits would be beneficial for all? Yes. Personally, I think 8 years for House of Representatives, 12 years for Senate, 2 terms there, and the typical 8 for the president. You want to make a career out of politics? Good. You run for governor, you run for the House, you run for the Senate, you run for the presidency. If you can win all those, you can have a career in politics. None of this bullshit. I've been in Washington for 40 years as a senator. No. All right. Sorry. You're outdated. Tell me what 81, 82-year-old Nancy Pelosi has in common with the people of San Francisco. San Francisco is a pretty young town, age-wise. Please tell me what she knows about the young people in San Francisco. Nothing. One more. Hutch John, Lizzie B, we need Trump the next 8, then DeSantis for 8 after that. Unfortunately, we could only have Trump for 4 more, so that wouldn't happen, but I would not be complaining one bit if we got Trump in 2024 and DeSantis in 28 and 32. I would not. That would be the death of the Democrat Party, which that is about the only thing that will save this country, is if the Democratic Party just withers away and dies. And that is a great comment to call it a night. Have a good evening, you guys. We'll see you in the morning. Pinball out.